All right, friends, we're back with the Blaha video. We're going to react to this gym lifting recruiting fitness gear slave, Jason Blaha. So Blaha says in this video, it's hard to sell the basics because the basics aren't sexy. Aw, isn't that unfortunate?
It's hard to sell the basics because the basics aren't sexy. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I thought I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today, but a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like down below, be greatly appreciated. If you are not
What are the basics, Blaha?
subscribed or following, please do so, and if you will be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, be greatly appreciated. All right, let's get over into this. You know, a lot of this started when it came to marketing, and we've seen it just explode, absolutely explode on the internet with the rise of the fitness influencer, all the fad diets, different things with training. You know, and here's what I'm going to say with this. People have almost rejected the most basic things that we know that work in the pursuit of the new shiny, right? And the reality is, by normal people's standard, let's not get into competitive bodybuilding with the huge amount of drugs. Even look at the bronze era bodybuilders, okay? Or to some
Yeah, okay, what about them?
extent the golden era,
Yeah.
silver era. By normal standards, the average guy out there would be thrilled, absolutely, amazingly thrilled to look like those guys. Okay, we need to be clear on that. Some of them were natural, and then even the later years way less drugs. It's literally the only thing that has changed in bodybuilding has been the types, the combinations, and the quantities of substances they use. That's it. That's it. That's the only thing that's changed. But you know, we look at the training.
The types and the quantities, those are the things that changed. Yeah, there's newer types all the time. There's new stuff. People are using higher quantities. Why? Because they're trying to compete. Because they think the bigger they are, they'll win. Okay?
And we look at diets, you know, but everyone's trying to sell a new machine. They're trying to sell a new type of program. And I get it. I mean, I push conjugate stuff for powerlifters and athletes, and I do all that with the bands and the chains when it comes to that. But realistically,
Yes, Blaha, he tries to get you to do these silly exercises, bands and chains and whatever, yes.
do we need any of that to get jacked? Okay,
Nope, you don't. You just need to get damaged. In your session, when you come into the gym, you need sufficient amount of damage. So you want to do exercises that get you the most amount of damage. And guess what? All of them will damage you. All of them. See what I mean? You need to put in the effort into that exercise to get that damage. Yep.
we need all this speed strength and compensatory acceleration with bands and all the other stuff that we do for that.
No, you don't need any of those things at all whatsoever. Blah is retarded. That's why he thinks you need those things. You don't.
Just to build a really jacked physique or an impressive body for men or women.
No, absolutely not. You don't. A jacked physique, if you want a jacked physique, then you want to build muscle. A lot of bodybuilders, they do sarcoplasmic training. I'm watching a guy now, that Sharif guy, whatever, the one that they were talking about, what's his name? Harfat. He was like taking steroids or something. They're all trying to defend him. And that was the guy that was at the show with him. He's got his own channel. He's talking about the pump, getting big and the pump, and he's just talking about sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. He thinks that's bodybuilding. That's not real bodybuilding.
Do we need any of that?
Look, man, bodybuilding is not some guy pretending to be a model on a stage. That isn't bodybuilding. Think about it. Think about it in your brain. What is the lifting world all about? Strength, right? So what is bodybuilding? Strength training. What is powerlifting? A type of strength training. So these things, they don't have nothing to do with some guy trying to look pretty on a stage. Why do you think they take steroids? Because the natural body doesn't really give that cosmetic look. I mean, you're going to look okay naturally. Some people look better than other people naturally. I can't say they have better symmetry, whatever, but they're lucky. They're luckier than other people. They just look better naturally, like faces. You see a lot of natural faces in the street. Some natural faces look much more attractive than other faces. Why? They're more aesthetic, more attractive, whatever. So what are people trying to do? They're trying to take steroids so they can look attractive, because it's mostly the people that are genetically genetic failures that take steroids. A lot of them, the good majority of them, the ones that is the people that are genetic phenoms, they don't need steroids, bro. They're not gonna take steroids. See what I mean? They don't need to take steroids. It's the failures that take them. That's why they show before after pictures all the time. And you see their before, they look horrendously terrible. They look like genetic failures.
And is that necessary? No. May not even be that helpful in the grand scheme of things. We could argue about neural drive, but realistically, let's come over. We don't need all the different types of machines that they've sold, and I'm not saying some machines can't be useful.
What about neural drive? Have you guys seen El Campeon? Okay, so neural drive. He lifts really heavy. But here's the thing: I don't know what he does afterward in his lifting in the gym. Is he still just lifting those heavy weights in the gym, or after he films, maybe he works out? But here's the thing: when you push astronomically heavy weight, right, and you reduce that weight, it becomes easier because you've increased neural drive during that exercise. Anybody that's a lifter who has experience knows that if you were to do partial reps with like 600 pounds on your back squatting, if you go back to like say 400 pounds, it's going to be a lot lighter, and you most likely will be able to rep it out concentrically because you've increased neural drive.
I think a couple of machines are useful. I have a problem with it. But here's the thing. A lot of the things that people are selling is to sell equipment. And a lot of...
Here's the thing. Can you use neural drive so that you could revert back to a certain weight, which you probably couldn't do eccentrically? Yeah. You can do heavy, you could do like heavy concentric partial reps to increase neural drive, and then go back to a weight which you possibly couldn't do for a full range of motion, and now you can do it for a full range of motion. You understand me? Because you've increased neural drive. That's what you did. A lot of people used to do that in the gym. I knew a long time ago people used to do that. They'd go really fucking crazy heavy, partial reps, but then they'd revert back to a weight which they a heavy weight which they couldn't do for a full range of motion, and now they could because they increased neural drive in the gym. That it can help you to damage these muscles with a heavier weight. You could get the deeper, weaker muscle fibers and get them to grow bigger and stronger. There's all kinds of tactics and tricks you could use at a gym to try to get you to your destination a lot quicker. But here's the thing: if you don't eat, then it wouldn't matter anyways. If you don't eat, you understand me? If you don't eat enough, it just is a waste of time because eating is a training. I'm sorry.
This came from guys like, what's his name? The guy who's kind of Arthur Jones with all his machines. He was a salesman, guys. A lot of that stuff that he pushed and then Menzer later pushed doesn't actually work. Some small...
Of course Arthur Jones was a salesman. He was in it for the money.
Parts of it do. But realistically, he was an equipment salesman. And if everyone's using barbells and dumbbells, that's not good. He needs to sell these machines. He needs to sell ideas and philosophy to go with it. But realistically...
Oh, he was one of the richest people on the planet, that guy, Arthur Jones.
Did any of those guys struggle to get great physiques doing weighted pull-ups and chin-ups and dips and bench presses and overhead press and squats and deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts or split squats and even doing calf raises?
Look, Blah's taking up bodybuilding. He's going to be a bodybuilder.
I saw me do. Look at my calves. Come on.
Did he put like baby oil on himself? Jesus. He's like, look at my calves. What about your calves?
That's how I do calf raises. I just do them in the squat rack. It's not a big deal, guys. Real good calves doing it. Do we need any of that stuff? I mean, really, and I'm not saying not to use isolation, but say you got dumbbells.
No, do we?
Right? You guys telling me you can't fully develop your shoulders with some dumbbells?
No, you can't.
Side raises.
No, you can't develop your shoulders with just dumbbells because the range of motion is short. It's concentric, and there's not enough eccentric to cause the damage in the shoulder. That's why cable machines help a lot with that.
front raises, rear delt raises. You can work all the way to the shoulder even if you want. Spectacular delts, beautiful, perfect delts. No problem with just dumbbells. There's nothing stopping you from doing it, and they work just fine. Everyone, well, we might get this angle a little better with this. But again, this is people trying to sell you a certain science that's not even always evidence-based. Keep that in mind when a lot of this complexity is solved.
These are all the trees that I have had
In mind when a lot of this complexity is solved. These are philosophies.
Complexities, philosophy. Just damage your muscle. Go to the gym, lift eccentrically, and damage those muscles. And then eat a lot right after that damaging session. That is the most important time. That will define whether you get bigger or stronger after that damaging session. Anything after that, the rest of the week is all relative. You're still in a type of growth state, but the most important time is right after your workout. You're in an apoptosis.
Philosophies based upon data.
In other words, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown. Now, being in positive nitrogen balance, yeah, you need to be in positive nitrogen balance the rest of the week. That would be a good idea. But after a damaging session, protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown.
Yeah. There are not actual studies anywhere showing that people who use a specific type of cable or machine versus a dumbbell for their lateral raise grow bigger delts.
No, it's the angle of what how you're pulling that, depending on what you're doing with the cable and the dumbbell. A cable has its place because of the range of motion of the shoulder, how far it can pull across your body, pulling across your body. You want to do that with a dumbbell? Well, you could try. Maybe you could lay down on something. You understand me? And let the dumbbell have a longer range of motion and fly it upward. I don't know. Lay down sideways on a bench. Try that. But standing up, good luck with that. Now, pressing, that's a totally different story. Pressing does have its place in the eccentric. But like I said, the whole fullness and roundness of your shoulder will dictate a lot. So that has to do with pulling a cable across your body. You don't need to fly dumbbells. That is the stupidest thing. When I watch people fly in the gym, I'm like, why are you flying? Oh, because, no, man. You might as well just press them then. You're wasting your time. Press the dumbbells. Jesus. But it's not going to do the fullness on the side of your shoulder. It's not going to bring out the fullness. The front delt will get stretched. The front delt for sure. But the side delt, it doesn't get stretched that much because you're pressing or you're flying. It's a hard muscle to get to. It's tough.
Like this has never been studied or measured, to my knowledge. Like no one's ever taken 50 test subjects into each group and broken them up and averaged their muscle growth with DEXA scans and MRIs to see whose delts grew the most. Like, so when people say evidence-based or science-based, it doesn't mean they actually measured any of it, like God forbid.
What do you mean by measure it? It's kind of obvious. Go and do a bunch of flies, see if it causes you any damage in your shoulders so they could grow bigger and stronger. No damage? Okay, waste of time. Now go do a bunch of heavy cables, pull them across your body, do multiple sets. Oh, damaged? Got a lot of damage there? Then there's growth there. That's how you know. No damage, no growth. There where there's damage, there's going to be growth. And the more damage you get there, the more growth there will be, providing you're eating. Now, if you don't eat after you work out and you're in apoptosis, then your workout was a failure. It doesn't make sense to work out, to damage your body and not eat enough. It just doesn't make sense, bro.
Collect some data, some ideas based upon some measurements, and say, hey, we have a set of philosophies and we think the evidence will go in this direction. They haven't actually sat down oftentimes and measured it with hypertrophy studies.
Okay.
as always. And a lot of the hypertrophy studies that get done, they're flawed. It's been pointed out there's a lot of flaws in those methodologies, the ones that are done.
I'm sure there is.
Okay, people sell complexity. You don't need a great deal of complexity with your training.
Okay.
I'm not saying good programming, fatigue management doesn't matter. This is what I do for a living. I coach people. People get great results. But do we need all of the complexity with it? No, people are trying to sell. Influencers are pushing complexity. Oh yeah, you just have to hit this angle or whatever on this curl, and it's like, you don't have proof of that, by the way. You're just making it up.
Yeah, you do need to hit certain things at this angle or whatever. Yeah, like your shoulders. Certain things require certain angles to get to them to damage. That's all.
Well, I feel it better. You feel it better. Maybe someone else doesn't.
Okay, whatever.
Feel it better. You feel it better. Maybe someone else doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that's half the time, literally all they're selling. They personally feel a little more, but this other guy doesn't. So what's that worth? It's their personal, what they feel. Okay, come on, guys. No one has struggled to build muscle doing all this stuff correctly. Same thing in nutrition. Everyone comes with these news.
Yes, a lot of people are struggling. Why do you think they want to take steroids? The majority of them are struggling. They're struggling.
Bad diets. Really, has anyone ever struggled to gain muscle just eating clean and eating lots of protein?
Yes, they have struggled because they didn't cause any damage to grow those muscles. Yeah.
Whole foods. Okay? Really, is this really a problem? All right, go back and look at those previous eras. Did any bodybuilder ever struggle to build large amounts of lean muscle? You know, eating chicken and rice and vegetables?
Bodybuilder, you mean drug addicts? They eat chicken, rice, and broccoli? They took steroids. What are you talking about? Who cares about that? Yeah, the natural people eating chicken, rice, and broccoli. Good luck with that, dude.
Oh, did plenty of bodybuilders just get shredded to the bone? Eating chicken, brown rice, vegetables, chicken, brown rice, broccoli diets, and doing lots of list cardio? No. Well, no, we have this theory that if we do all this HIIT cardio, do this, and then we carb cycle. Really, you think any of that's necessary? You sure that's even optimal? Come on. Do you really think you don't think all that high intensity cardio interferes with your lifting? And then if your lifting is compromised, it's hard to keep muscle?
Okay.
You just do list cardio.
Yeah.
Well, we're just trying to save time, are you? But this works. It's time effective. It's proven. People keep their muscle. Again, really, you want to add carbs, you want to add complex, you want this carnivore diet. There's no need for it.
What? Carnivore diet, there's no need for it? Okay, whatever.
People say, well, I tried it and it worked. Yeah, but the other worked already. There's no magic to carb cycling.
There's no such thing as carnivore diet. There's just humans are carnivores, okay? And I don't know about carnivore diet. A real carnivore, they eat food naturally in its natural state. Now, if you're cooking it because of taste. Raw animal products have no taste. Raw fish, there's no taste. Raw meat has no taste. These organs and stuff and blood, whatever, they're tasteless. They have no taste. If you've eaten raw animal products, then you'll know there's no taste there. There's no taste. So the question is this: why did humans start cooking? For taste. Here's the thing: when you eat a raw egg, right? What does it taste like? Nothing. It doesn't taste like anything. Okay. When you cook eggs, what does it taste like? It's different. The composition has changed now, right? It's tastier. Okay. What does a raw steak taste like? Nothing. Does it taste like anything? Soft. You chew on it. Okay. What does a steak taste like when you grill it? Oh, it's tasty, isn't it? Tastier. Because it does something to it. Makes it tastier. Okay. Fish, for example, too, when you cook it, what does it taste like? Well, it's tastier because you cooked it. Does it taste like anything?
It's crazy. And so again, people are going to get upset that I call these little things out. Look, if you want to do something and you enjoy it and you get a response, I'm not telling you not to do it. But what I'm telling
Actually, to tell you the truth, I know why people don't like liver. Because cooking liver, though, it does the opposite. It actually makes it taste bad. That's why they have to throw all these onions and shit on it. They put all this sauce and onions, whatever, salt. Yeah, that is the one organ that has no taste, but when you cook it, it tastes really weird. Yeah.
You as people are selling nonsense. They're selling complexity that doesn't need to exist, and then they want to sell equipment. They want to sell supplements. Then they want to sell, let's sell occlusion bands for blood flow restriction training. We need to sell you 17 supplements to do this. It's all marketing.
Yeah, blood flow, occlusion, whatever, these bands. Like, you need that. Like, why are you doing that for? Oh, because I want to restrict blood in my area. Why? Because I just do. Because they told me it's a good thing to do. Oh, okay. Whatever.
It's not about your results. And the problem is it's hard to sell the basics. So they don't.
It's hard to sell the basics.
Even though the basics have worked for generations, they're not sexy and they're not flashy and they're not new.
I don't know that. I don't know. A lot of things are not sexy in the gym. If you do specific things that get you what you want, they don't really look so sexy. But people, if you want to look good in the gym, if you want to look cool like your friends and whatever, good luck with that. Keep doing that. You'll keep failing. See what I mean? You'll keep failing. It's just like that, dude. But like I said, if you really, really want something, you're going to go all out 100%. But if you don't really want it, you're never going to go out 100%. So you're never really going to achieve your goal if you're just half-assing it. See what I mean? It's like me. I told you before in my videos, I said that if I go into a gym in a damaging session, I got to damn well make sure that there's somewhere I could go to eat for the next 5 hours. Now, if there's no place for me to go to eat the next 5 hours, or I can't make it on time, or my workout is half-assed or something, forget it. I'm not doing it. I'm just wasting my time. So I know what I'm going to get if I go in for a damaging session and afterward I go somewhere and I eat for 5 hours straight. I know then and there I'm going to get gains. But if I don't do it, it was a waste of time. Either the workout was shit and I ate, but the workout was crappy, or the workout was really good and I went home and I ate a bagel with cream cheese and I had a cup of coffee. See what I mean? Or whatever, and a slice of whatever. That's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Tell you what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. It's either 100% or forget it.